Coulter, the weather has turned. It is gnarly out there. It's gnarly on the roads. But in Montana, that doesn't keep us home. We go everywhere we got to go. You and I always traveling for football. I'm going to be headed some other places for Christmas, all this kind of stuff. You know what gives me comfort? I know that I'm always about 11 feet from a Town Pump Superstore. I mean, no matter where I am in the state of Montana, you got gasoline, you got all the refreshments you need. The kids got to have, a packet of gum, some chips, some water to keep them going, keep them satiated and satisfied in the back seat. And you know what other S word? Silent. Shut them up, those kids. You go to Town Pump and you got yourself some peace and calm in the van ride. I should pay them $1 million for what they've done for me.
I always hit up that Town Pump right when you get over Homestake Pass, right in Rocker there, because I always run out of the spray fluid for the windshield. And the semis are spraying on you. When it gets cold and icy and snowy like this, you got to have the right fluids in your car, and Town Pump's got that covered as well. And sometimes you need a beer for after the drive. So get yourself a six-pack, drink it when you get home, behave yourself. But it's a great place no matter what you need. Fuel, food, caffeine, water, anything.
And who knows, maybe you throw $1 in the machine, you walk away a winner too. I mean, you got all these different ways to recreate, stretch your legs on the highways.
No matter where you're at in Montana, there's a Town Pump near you. Town Pump, Montana's best since 1953.
Well, how about that? So that was a fun day. Appreciate, before I open up the questions, once again, the Fargo Dome doesn't ever disappoint. Bison Nation never disappoints, and our fans and support was at its best once again. And so it was, our kids were ready to go, but when they showed up and they saw the crowd and they heard the crowd and the volume, I knew what was going to happen. A lot of appreciation goes out to everyone involved at the program, from our strength staff, our academic people. We had 13 of our seniors graduate yesterday. Well, what a weekend they had. To our Margie Trickle, Miss Football here at NDSU. She knows everything and anything about Bison football, and I couldn't do it without her. And there's Bobby Knodel and his staff and all our medical people that are involved. It takes a village to run a football program, and I'm extremely fortunate to be the head coach here at NDSU. And with that, I'll open it up to questions.
3 70-yard plays make it a lot more fun.
It does. We talked about we needed to make bigger plays. We needed to get everyone in the end zone, and we did. That's why it took so long to kick the PATs. I challenged the offense before the game that when we score, all 11 need to be in there with them. And just the mentality, we needed to change. We needed to do better. It wasn't that we couldn't score the last couple of weeks. We just needed to improve upon our efficiency in the red zone. We got to get Adam running over some agile bags or something, or otherwise I think we'd been 4 for 4 in the red zone this week. But really, really excited about Tyler Roll, the offensive staff, and of course everyone on the offense in the way they played today.
Coach, those big plays you had, were some of those thought of? Did you have some of those in mind before the game, or did you think of them there in the moment?
Nope, those were all things that were on our call card, things that we thought that we could take advantage of. And I tell you what, Christian Watson's an unbelievable talent. And he's only a sophomore. He needs to continue to get better. He knows that. But to see where he's at now in December of 2019 compared to December in 2018, it's a 180-degree turn, and he's become a really good Bison.
What's 2 big plays, back-to-back 70-plus yarders after Montana State had scored it and seemed to gain momentum? Just describe what his plays meant and the way the game played out.
Well, I think all of a sudden you got them on their heels, and I think after playing them, I thought they were really and they're an excellent football team. I don't know if they were able to throw the ball as well as maybe I'd seen on film. They never really felt like they had any rhythm. Everything was quick game. Everything was swing passes. And so I don't know if they could push the ball down. So all of a sudden, when you score, bang, bang like that, you get, I believe, a 3 and out in between. You have them reeling a little bit. There's no magic play call that can score 14 like that. And so do you want to eat up your own clock or are you going to take some shots and have the potential of getting off, on 3 and out? So it was huge for our confidence today to get our swagger back a little bit on offense. believe me, everyone on offense, they showed up on Monday, it was workman-like mentality. And they knew they didn't play their best game a week ago, and they were gonna prove everyone wrong. They had a chip on their shoulder all week.
How different was game planning this week compared to last week?
They just do some different things. Now, there was a connection. The defensive coordinator from Illinois State had been at Montana State a year ago, and so we did anticipate some four-to-a-side pressure, or as we call it, smoke, and they did show it. But I think we, meaning the coaching staff, kind of took we didn't slow our players down. We didn't try to overcoach them. We just said, hey, we're going to run what was called. That was what we thought was the best play, rather than always trying to check, which we did a week ago. We checked into a secondary play. Well, if we liked that play so much, we should have called it in the first place. And I think we just had a different mentality, and it starts with our players.
Coach mentioned that after the game that they basically jumped that look at halftime. What do you guys think? What do you think you did so well to make them stop?
Well, I think we identified it. I thought, you see it 2 weeks in a row, you're ready for it. And we knew some of the perimeter run game. If they wanted to run heel line like that, we could out leverage them and get a great athlete in space like that. And then continue. I don't know what Trey was today, passing wise. If I could. 15 to 21, and I bet he wish he had 3 or 4 of those keys back. He hits those, you really start loosening him up there. I think he's just so excited. He sees people uncovered. He wants to get the ball out there, so excited. So, again, we all got things we can work on, and we're excited that we have an opportunity to work on them yet.
8 of the last 9 years, trips to Frisco, first one being the head coach. Does it feel different for you, or how do you describe that?
Probably hasn't sunk in yet. Probably afraid to go home and take a nap. Afraid I'll wake up and we'll still be getting ready for Butler or something like that, and it'll be a big dream. But it's gone unbelievably fast, and that is because of I love hanging out with our players, our staff, our administration. There's a lot of good people associated with the Bison, and we always say that good character people make great Bison.
Quarterback, how much time does he spend on scramble drills throughout the week with that Dimitri Williams touchdown in the third quarter? That was a really, I thought, nice job of him just being able to keep the play alive, keep his eyes downfield.
To me, that's a different level play. To be able to continue to feel the pressure and keep your eyes that's not a freshman play. That's an advanced play right there. That's someone who's played 50, 60, 70 games in their career, not a guy who's on number 15. So I wish I could say, and I'm sure Coach Hedberg does too, that was coached. That's just some God-given talent that young man has.
You take the shackles off Trey a little bit this week in terms of the quarterback run game and let him go a little bit?
We sure did. Everything was available. We needed to win. We knew we had 3 weeks until the next one, and so we were going to make sure that we threw everything at them, and we had plenty of offense today on the call card if we needed it.
You're going to look or get a test done, but initial concern with Josh Hayes?
You know what? I don't know exactly. I don't think they do either. Good thing we got 3 weeks. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. It's funny how things work in a cycle. Everyone in here found out who Josh Hayes was because of an injury to Jalen's, and all of a sudden, kind of the same situation. Next man up, and that. Destin did a nice job today. Trey Fort played some corner for us. We got to keep leaning on people.
Coach, it takes a lot to get here. What can you say at least about what Jeff Cho is doing at Montana State to try and emulate the success you guys have had here?
I think they're trying to run the football. They're trying to establish it. They're trying to play really good defense, shorten the games. I'm sure it's a different animal that they play in the Big Sky. There's more 11, 10 personnel, more affinity for the pass game maybe a little bit. So, but they're a good team. They're a solid team, and our kids were just ready to go today, and took some things personal during the course of the week, and that was okay.
Matt, your quarterback finishes the calendar year without an interception. Can you comment on that?
That's pretty good, isn't it? You want me to elaborate a little more? Okay. He doesn't try to force the ball anywhere. He's very calm and collected. He's very detailed in his work. He's down in these seats every week about 7:30 in the morning. Then about 9:30 he goes to rehab. Then he comes back in, watches some more cut-ups, and then his classes aren't midday. and he's got a great schedule, and Kelly Lehman helps us with that. But he is so prepared, and he knows exactly what they're doing, and sometimes probably before they do. He doesn't try to force anything. He tries to take the easy access throw. We got receivers that can break tackles. And I think you have to continue to give those guys a lot of credit. We went into this year, and I think a lot of us, me included, didn't know much about that room. And Phoenix Sproles, who's going to be healthy and be back. Christian Watson, this guy by the name of Jimmy Kaporis, Cole Jacobs, Braylon Henderson. All of a sudden, we had all these guys just coming out of the woodwork. But number one thing we were concerned about was leadership back in August, and they've all taken on the leadership. And Noah Pauly's done an outstanding job, as good a job as I've seen, taking on a bunch of young guys. And you got to remember, coaching that room is difficult. Everyone wants the football, and there's only one of them.
Was that 4 for Braylon today?
It was.
Okay.
It was.
He played well. Looking at the
Big
film.
catch. I thought he made some big blocks today. Coming from where Allen, Texas, he's played in front of some big crowds. Part of the reason why he was so enamored about being a Bison, because he wanted to continue to play in big games, and that was one of the things we talked about today. This whole week was about our seniors, our 14 seniors. It was Senior Week 2.0. We were going to make sure that we went out the right way and challenged our young guys like Braylon that whatever it takes, we got to get it done. And Braylon is super excited to be going home for one more game.
The way that Montana State has progressed, could you imagine seeing them again late in the playoffs in the future?
Not going to worry about that at this time.
Water jug field.
It was cool. Coach Gazer set me up, man. We were having just a nice conversation, and then all of a sudden, eventually I need to go change.
What will that conversation with Coach Kleiman be like this week for you?
I got a bunch of texts already. So, I know they're scrambling to stop some triple option. We've had some conversations about it. He has his hands full with Navy and the bowl game coming up. But I'm sure we'll find time, maybe Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, to continue our conversations, our weekly conversations.
What's it meant to have someone like him by your side this whole time?
It's been great. There's 2 or 3 guys that I use as resources, and of course, my friendship and the time that I've spent with Chris, not only here but at the University of Northern Iowa, is extremely valuable. His family is unbelievably close to ours. All 3, Devin was a student coach for us. Haley's a superstar, and Colby is great friends with my boys, and so it's been special to be able to have someone to converse about the trials of being a head coach. It's been special.
Any preference of who wins the second game to see in Frisco?
Nope.
You gonna go watch that this evening?
I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to enjoy this one first. We got Christmas coming around. I'm going to take it. I know I got the TV show tomorrow, but after that, I'm going to shut it down for a little bit.
Same schedule, though, once you get back from the holiday?
Well, it's a little bit different just because of the length of the season already. A year ago, an 11-game schedule, the semifinal was last week, and we'd be in prep right now. We'd probably have let our guys go after a practice today. We're going to have a team meeting tomorrow at 9 o'clock with anticipation all our guys are going to be here. We're going to talk about our logistics of practice moving forward, when they need to be back, when our first practice will be, when they got to start working with Coach Kramer again in winter camp. There's a lot of excited people in the locker room, knowing that once again they get an opportunity to be in winter camp.
How happy were you with your offensive line here today?
Super happy. And Coach Blazik does an unbelievable job. Guys, I told you last week, and I think I said it, we're going to be okay. It was a 1-game deal. Those guys were so ready to go today, so ready to go. You had to hold them back. And believe me, you don't want to get in the way of Cordell Volson, Zach Johnson, and Dylan Radens. Those guys were on a mission to make sure that we won this football game. Trey Lance, his mentality all week, everything was with the sense of urgency. He wasn't going to lose this football game. Our kids took over. We just gave them a roadmap to success, and today they did it. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good Christmas.
Garrett just talked about an 8th trip for this program, the championship, and just being part of the last 4. Last 3. What does that mean for you to get back there?
You know, it means a lot. It speaks a lot of this program, the culture that the guys before us have started, and it shows that we're carrying it in the right direction. So, yeah, it means a lot for the program, for the state of North Dakota, and for all the guys in the locker room.
As a senior with not a large group of seniors, did you put a little more added pressure on yourself when the season started to say there's not going to be any drop-off in 2019?
I wouldn't say there was much pressure. I mean, spring ball, fall camp, all the young guys who didn't see a lot of playing time, they get a lot of reps. So it was one of those things. We had no pressure going into the season, and everybody just played and got a lot of reps, got a lot of experience. So I wouldn't say there's any young guys now. So.
Derek, can you walk us through your sack on 4th down and potentially maybe the celebration as well?
We knew they were going to have to start throwing the ball. They're down by a few scores. Time's running out, and they can't run it forever. So when we got a pin our ears back and rush, that's exactly what we did up front. And it was just, I don't know, the celebration, some of the guys were saying, hey, we got to do that if somebody makes a big play because we get cost of attendance here. So that's what that was about. So.
How much ease or energy or whatever does it put on the defense when you go back-to-back big plays like that and you get to go right back on the field? What does that do to the defense?
Yeah, we love it. We feed off the offense. We know when their energy is high, our energy tends to rise. So just having the offense make big plays really helped us out in matching their energy.
Jabril, you saw Trey all-time in fall camp, spring ball, to go through a season without an interception. Can you comment about that, about how he's played this year?
Yeah, early on we knew he was special. Just trying the reads that he makes for a young guy. It looks like he's been in the program for 4 years. So just having Trey see he hasn't thrown an interception really means a lot because we knew that he could do that ever since he first came.
How would you defend him, Jabril? If you were a defensive coordinator, how would you stop Trey Lance?
It's going to be hard to stop him. You can only contain him. So you could just try your best. Good luck. I'm glad we don't have to play against him.
Christian Watson's big touchdown catch and then the long run. I mean, after Montana State had tied up, what kind of energy or how do you think that kind of changed the game with just those two big plays?
Yeah, on the sideline, we knew we had to get the momentum back, and Christian did a great job with that. He's pretty fast, so getting him out in space, nobody's going to run him down. So I'd say that just helped the whole entire team get that momentum back on our side and just run with it. So
to be able to get them into passing situations and to be able to kind of pin your ears back in those types of plays, what did that mean for your defense to be able to just kind of attack the quarterback like that?
Yeah, we just had to stop the run, put them in 3rd and long, 2nd and long, those kind of situations where they have to pass. So they weren't going to run the ball on us, and we weren't going to let them do that. So.
Derek, in regards to running the ball, Montana State came out with a lot of exotic formations. What was your preparation on that this week?
The prep was similar to every other week. We took it one day at a time. We knew they were going to have all sorts of different formations, personnel out there, Wildcat, Delta, all this different stuff. So we just knew we had a bunch of checks for it. We all had to be on the same page, communicate, and that was going to be key, just getting aligned and communicating, and then the rest we could play through it. So.
Was there any different emotion after the game? It ended and everyone's running in the crowd in the student section knowing this is your last game in this building. I mean, for you personally, did you feel a different emotion there?
I haven't really thought about that yet. That was my last game in there. It'll sink in eventually, but it was a fun game, and I'm glad we can take her back to Frisco. So.
Comment 3 years.
Over the loudspeaker system, are you aware of the songs they're playing during the timeouts and stuff? And did you know when they're playing the song that everybody waits for when you guys are ahead?
Yeah, you hear it, but you got to block it out. We knew we had to finish the game. We didn't want them scoring, so it was just one of those things. Everybody on the sideline was saying, "Stay locked in. We got to finish this." So.
Do you think you guys communicated a little better this week on the field compared to previous weeks?
I'd say our communication was just as good as any other week. We just knew what they were going to be coming out with and what we'd get out of each formation and personnel. So we were just ready for it, and everybody was locked in for this game.
A question for Jabril. What's your thoughts on the crowd in this game and their energy while you play defense?
Yeah, the crowd was phenomenal. Having the whole stands filled with only standing room only, it really helped us out. And having the offense have trouble in communicating, so that's a big part of us. They're really the 12th member of our defense, so they helped us out a lot.
Jabril, 3 years playing, 3 years going to Frisco. Can you comment on that for yourself?
Yeah, it's a blessing. Not many people get to even have one, so just having 3 times going to Frisco, it's truly a blessing.
Derek, you mentioned staying locked in. How do you do that for yourself?
I mean, I think the whole team does a really good job just being in the moment, and the whole game. I don't know how to explain that. It's just different here. Everybody's got an edge, and we just get locked in, and we know what we got to do.
Stood out to you about their offensive front, just their linemen. What was kind of the scouting report against them?
Kind of like any other week. Watching film, we knew what we wanted, what we could do. So I don't know. Missouri Valley teams are the most physical teams, so we weren't worried really about the physicality of the game. We knew we had to be more physical than them, but that wasn't going to be a question going into the game.
Christian, you ever had any football experiences like that where you just 2 plays and boom, took over?
Definitely, I don't think so. Definitely not. I mean, it was a crazy experience today, being able to go out there and execute like that. I mean, I got to give all the thanks to the guys up front, all the thanks to my wide receivers that were out there blocking for me every play. And, thanks for Coach Roll for, coming out with a great game plan.
Walk us through the jet sweep. You kind of turn the Jets on there once you get going, huh?
I just seen we've been practicing out throughout the week, and the linebackers were shooting outside all week, and we saw the same look in the game. Where I don't know if it was the safety of the linebacker, but he shot outside. Jimmy Kaporis, held him outside. Had a great block by Braylon Henderson as well, and I just seeing I could cut it up right here, and I tried to turn on the Jets, and I happened to split the gap on them.
You told me earlier this year you get the ball, no one's going to catch it. Is that pretty much evidence of that today?
Yeah, we've seen a little burst of it every now and then. I definitely think being able to stay healthy throughout the season has helped me continue to grow and develop, and be able to just go out there and play fast. Definitely want to give a shout out to Coach Polly for just helping us out in the wide receiver room. Being a young group, we definitely had some doubts before the season, but he just kind of just instilled in us that just go out there and have fun and just play fast.
Coach Entz said something like some of those big plays help the offense get its swagger back. Do you feel like as an offense you had something to prove today after last weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not scoring a touchdown like last week is not something we ever want to do. Like I said last week, but at the same time, we really moved on from it. Even Monday in meetings, it was playoffs are about winning, survive and advance. So I think we did a good job of putting it behind us and getting ready for Montana State this week.
And for Trey, how important was that fast start early on and scoring a touchdown early in the game?
Yeah, it was huge. Obviously, we want to start every game fast, but put a lot of emphasis on it this week. Christian does a great job. Offensive line came out, with some swag, with some energy. And Braylon Henderson, got to give a huge shout out to him, guy that hasn't played a whole lot. If you watch him, if you go back and watch the game, watch him block and just watch him pick up extra guys and his finish on every single play. A whole lot of guys can't do that and don't do that, and he's a difference maker for us.
How critical do you think the deep ball was to Christian after Montana State had scored at 7-7? It seemed like the momentum was kind of equal, or maybe even to Montana State's side. How big do you think that play was?
Yeah, it was huge. Any explosive play like that, especially coming out, after they score a touchdown, is big for us. Wish I would have hit the first one to him, on the post, the possession before they scored. But at the same time, just nothing but confidence in this dude. He's absolute playmaker, super explosive, dynamic. Whatever words you want to use, he's it.
You experienced this last year, but now to do it as a starter, how different is this moment?
Way different. Just being able to embrace my role a little bit more. Support my teammates a little more. Just expand my role just feels really good just to be able to help these guys out and know that I contribute a little more than last year.
Can you kind of walk us through the Dimitri touchdown?
That dude, he can run, and I think just his football IQ is something that a lot of people don't realize about him. You know, he played a lot of receiver for us today, split him out wide a lot with Phoenix being out. Scrambled, wanted to throw, I think it was 3rd and 6, wanted to throw the arrow route, the out route to Josh Babbage. Didn't know if he'd get it, with catching contact, so I kind of scrambled a little bit. Was going to go left right away. Braylon did a great job of just getting vertical. I think I could have threw the ball to him regardless. We just saw a window. I was going to run it, and then just saw the Dimitri, just his football IQ just taking off, and knowing no one's going to be there. Just saw him taking off down the sideline. Made a great catch, and no one's catching him.
Wasn't mean Trey to lead the Bison to Frisco. Brock Jensen did, Carson did, obviously your guy Easton did, and now you're leading them down south. What does that mean to you?
It's everything, everything we've dreamed of, expected of ourselves, since spring ball last year. I think the biggest thing for us is we wanted to prove people wrong this year, and I think we're doing that right now, still in the process. Got one more to go, but just super excited and proud of the guys up front. The receiver room, the running back room, all the low expectations that everyone had for them. I think they beat all those.
Christian, how close were you to get into that first one?
I just want to say before I answer that I always tell Trey that he can't overthrow me. So just going out there and getting overthrown, I think that's a blow to me. I think I'll count that as a drop for me, not an incomplete pass for him. But it was pretty close. I thought I was gonna get there. I don't know if maybe I slowed up a little bit, but I think if I just had one more step, I would have got there.
Comment, finished the calendar year without an interception. What do you make of that?
Coach has put me in great positions to be successful. Guys around me making plays, and I don't think it's that I've thrown perfect balls. You guys know that. Everyone knows that. But guys like Christian making plays on 50-50 balls, things like that, I think that's all the difference.
Christian, did you ever feel like this? I know it's a lot of the same guys, but this was like a fresh group or maybe a fresh team compared to last year. Just the amount of seniors you graduated. Did it feel like? I know every year is different, but did you feel like even a more different season for?
I think every team every year is a lot different because we have a lot of seniors who play a big role in our program that end up leaving, but. I think there's no drop off ever. It may be a different environment, but it's the same mentality that every single person has. So I definitely think there was there's a youthfulness and especially like in the wide receiver room having Shep and the older guys leave. But I think every single person throughout the program, whether they're freshman or a senior, we all have the same mentality. So every single year we're bringing the same energy.
Trey, your just comment or thoughts on the Rams? It seemed like they took last week personally and then showed today.
Yeah, there was a difference in practice this week. I'd say just those guys especially. They're a dominant group, and I've said it 15 weeks in a row, and I'm going to keep saying it because they're going to keep doing it. Just nothing but confidence and love for those guys. Our guys don't pick themselves up off the ground after any play. I don't know if that's something that you guys notice at all, but whether it's running backs, receivers, they're beating me at the end zone sometimes, and picking guys up off the, whether they're blocking or getting tackled. And I think that says a lot about them, just their mentality and how they handle their business.
After the final horn sounded, what's it like with everyone running to the student section? And I don't know if you jumped up in the crowd, but just that whole emotion. What was that final scene like for you?
Obviously, we've done it for the past couple of years now, but it's surreal every time. Just being able to finish off this, the playoff run, get a chance to go to Frisco. It's unreal being able to run up to the guys who are on the team, who are sitting in the front row, the whole student section as a whole, just being able to go out and celebrate with our fans. It's unreal.
At this kind of game, how big of a moment is that for you?
It's big, but I'll celebrate that today. But starting with winter camp and stuff, we gotta put that stuff in the past. We're gonna have a new team to play against. We're gonna have new opportunities in the national championship, and that's what we're gonna be focused on.
Do you ever think this may not happen a couple years ago with battling injuries and trying to get on the field, but now to have this kind of moment today?
I definitely do believe that I've had doubts, battling injuries and stuff, but I've always had great guys around me who always believe in me no matter what. Whether I'm just doing rehab in there, thinking to myself like I don't know if I'll ever be the same again. But I'll have guys come up to me and be like, we're gonna need you. We're gonna need you next year. We're gonna need you to keep battling with this rehab. And I definitely think just being surrounded by guys that I have on the team right now has definitely helped me a lot.
You were able to beat up the Montana State defense pretty well. Just what did you like about the matchups there?
I just think we had a great game plan. I think Coach Roy, obviously, with the success we had last week, he kind of just let us. I feel like he just kind of just let us go out and do our thing this week. Just play a lot faster, and I just think we just clicked as an offense. Clicked as an offense as a whole today.
Trey, the 8th time in the last 9 years that the team's made it to Frisco's players, does that past stuff motivate you, or do you try to not think about that stuff, or how does some of that previous success?
I think it's just the expectations, that, when you sign here, when I signed here 2 years ago, the expectation is to play for championships, conference championships and national championships. So I think, just guys like Cole Davis on the sideline today, I was going to do everything I could to, not let him down. Just the guys playing for the guys before us and the guys that will come after us is a big thing that we emphasize. Coach Entz emphasizes. So, yeah, I'd say just not wanting to let those guys down. And then obviously just knowing that that's the expectation. This is just what we do here.
The leading rusher was your receiver right there. What's that say about his day?
Explosive. I mean, anytime he gets the ball in his hands, I'm not catching him. I don't know if there's a lot of guys that are going to catch him, even though I'd like to think that I'll get there. This dude, he can turn on the burners and just really explosive with the ball in his hands, playmaker, runs good routes, just makes plays.
Talk about Dimitri's run. It seemed like you kind of came out of nowhere to throw a block or wall off a guy. What did you kind of see as that played about?
I had a short route, and as soon as I seen Trey scrambling, I just tried to mirror him, trying to play just a deep throw. And as I was going out back to the direction that Trey was throwing it, I seen Dimitri out there, so he went up and caught it, and I just seeing that there was only one guy that he had to beat. I knew in my mind that Dimitri was going to be able to outrun him, but I just ran over there. I just like running down the field with my brothers when they're scoring touchdowns. So I just decided I was going to run with them.
You ever feel like a play is dead with Trey playing quarterback, Christian?
Never. As long as the whistle hasn't been blown, the play is not dead yet. I know. He could have 3 guys on him. He's done it before. He can shake that off. He can. Whatever situation he's in, I believe Trey is going to keep fighting until the whistle's blown.
Derek talked a lot about being locked in the big moments in the game. How do you stay locked in?
Just calm confidence, just knowing that we know what we're doing, and we have a plan for everything. When they tie up the game, things like that. Just those situations. Just nothing but confidence comes from our sideline. Whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, we just I think prepared to the point where we know what we're doing, and just confidence is everything. I think in those situations.
Can you just talk about what Montana State brought in today?
A really talented team. I think they had a good plan. I think we just executed, maybe out-executed them at certain points in the game. Explosive plays. Christian kind of took over the game early, which makes a big difference, in their demeanor and just how they play. Offensively, defensive line-wise, I just don't think they could match up with our offensive line, which, we haven't – I don't know if we've seen a team this year or will that can. But just super talented group. I think they played super hard. They had a good plan, well coached. Not a whole lot bad we can say about them, really. They're a really good team, really good program, and we'll expect to see them again next year.
Do you want to see the Super Bowl in whatever he's been talking about, JMU and NDSU, or do you? I'm sure it doesn't matter to you guys, but in the back of your mind, you go, let's bring on those guys.
We'll be ready for whoever we play next week or January 11th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.